The month felt normal, no big purchase to point at, no weekend that obviously got out of hand. And yet the bank account ended lower than expected, not dramatically, but enough to feel it. The numbers do not lie. The reason, though, is harder to spot. The usual advice says track every dollar, cut the coffee, set a budget, and plenty of households follow it and still end the quarter behind. The gap usually comes from somewhere the budget app is not looking. Something quieter, something older. The leak is usually in the recurring costs. The energy plan that last changed when you moved in. The insurance that auto-renewed last spring without a second quote. The phone plan nobody repriced because it felt like the wrong moment. These repeat every month, quietly unchallengeable. Call it the autopilot tax. It is not a line on any statement. It is the extra amount a household pays by keeping the same plan, the same provider, the same settings year after year without ever checking if the market has moved past them. Most households pay it, few notice it. The autopilot tax has four main addresses for most Australian households: grocery spending, recurring utility and service bills, insurance policies, and tax time habits. A structured check of each, not constant monitoring, just once or twice a year is usually where the adjustment lives. Food is the most repeating cost in most household budgets. The biggest grocery win for most Australian families is not which chain they use, it is whether they arrive with a plan. A list built from 5 or 6 planned dinners removes most of the shelf decision entirely. Unit pricing, cost per 100 grams per wash, changes the shelf comparison completely. The bigger pack is not always cheaper per unit, and specials on items already on the list are genuine savings. Specials that create new items on the list are not. Grocery delivery solves real problems on difficult weeks, but when it becomes the default, the service and delivery fees quietly absorb the savings from every other smart shopping decision. A weekly delivery habit can cost a household several $100s a year in fees alone, often without anyone calculating the total. Energy is where the loyalty cost tends to be largest. The market changes annually, tariffs shift, new plans emerge, rebate programs come and go. But most Australian households are still on the same energy plan they signed up for 2 or 3 years ago. Official comparison tools exist at the Commonwealth and state level for energy, phone, and internet plans. A single session, entering the current plan and seeing what is available, takes 20 minutes or less. Well, the result is just information. But it is information that very few households collect before the auto-renewal goes through. The main reason comparison does not happen is not the process. It is the quiet assumption that the difference will not be worth the effort. That assumption is almost never tested before it becomes a habit. The assumption is also almost never correct. Insurance auto-renews. That is by design. And most households accept the renewal price without a second quote, not because the price is fair, but because comparing feels like a job that belongs to a different kind of person. It does not. It belongs to anyone who got the letter. Raising the insurance excess looks sensible, but only if the savings account can actually cover it when something happens. An excess that looks manageable on the renewal form but cannot be paid in real life is not a cost reduction. It is a problem deferred to the worst moment. So pause here for a moment. When did your household last actually run its energy plan, phone contract, or car insurance through a comparison, not just not just note that the bill felt high, but actually check? That single question tends to be more revealing than months of receipt tracking. Tax is where good intentions turn into mythology quickly. Some households overclaim, guessing at deductions they cannot support if asked. Others missing what the law genuinely allows because it was never explained clearly. Both patterns cost money, just in different directions. Work-related deductions need a genuine connection to earning income. A home office claim needs usage records. A vehicle claim needs a logbook. The ATO publishes occupation guides for most jobs. These explain exactly what is claimable and what is not. That is the right starting point. For eligible employees, salary sacrifice into super reduces taxable income while building retirement savings. It is one of the few genuine tax-effective levers for ordinary Australian earners. Annual caps apply. Confirm the election with HR or a payroll team before acting to avoid mistakes that are hard to unwind. The most expensive tax myth is that deductions return the full expense. They do not. A deduction reduces the tax on a genuine expense. It does not reimburse the cost. The ATO has the final say on what qualifies, not the post that looked persuasive online. Here is the quiet contradiction in many household budgets. The daily coffee gets noticed, visible, daily concrete. The energy plan never compared, the insurance auto-renewed at a higher rate, the phone plan on old pricing, these are invisible. In most households, they are significantly larger in annual impact. Streaming services, apps, software trials, gym memberships that slipped past the cancel window, most households carry several they rarely use. An annual audit of recurring charges takes under half an hour. Canceling the unused ones and redirecting the amount tends to fund something the household actually wants. The four zones shift by household type. Renters control their energy plan. Comparison matters most here. Regional households may have fewer options, but insurance and tax zones often hold unused room. Families with children find grocery discipline and subscription audits compound fastest. The habit is the same. The biggest zone varies: 4 habits, not a new lifestyle. Groceries monthly before you shop. Bills annually before they auto-renew. Insurance annually, 1 quote before the renewal goes through. Tax before June 30, receipts gathered and ATO guide checked. That is the whole system. 4 calendar reminders are all the infrastructure it needs. Before each major shop, 5 to 7 dinners planned, shopping list written from the plan, unit pricing for anything bought in variable pack sizes. Specials checked after the list is set, never before. That sequence keeps the list in control of the shop, not the other way around. Pick a month and lock it in. January or July works for most. Run energy, phone, and internet through a comparison portal. Government tools at Commonwealth and state level are impartial. The outcome might be a switch, or it might be confirmation that the current plan is reasonable. Either result is useful. For home, contents, and car insurance, get one comparison quote before accepting the renewal, not to switch impulsively, to know whether the current premium reflects the market. Loyalty in insurance rarely earns a discount automatically. A competing quote often does. Before June 30, collect genuine work-related expense receipts sorted by category. Download the ATO guide for your occupation. If salary sacrifice into super fits current cash flow, confirm the arrangement with payroll before the financial year closes. These are not dramatic moves. They are the ones most households defer until the window is gone. None of these zones produce a life-changing number individually. But a household that checks all 4 consistently, grocery, bills, insurance, tax, finds the combined effect meaningful over a year. Not through deprivation, not through obsession. Through closing the gaps that were always there, running quietly in the background. The goal is not to account for every dollar or remove every convenience. The goal is to stop paying the autopilot tax on things nobody reviewed. One session a quarter, spread across the right zones, changes the annual arithmetic more than most daily sacrifices do, without changing how the household actually lives. If any zone needs more depth, the guides in this series go further on each: the grocery strategy in detail, the energy switching process step by step, and the tax deductions most Australian workers miss at year-end, including what the ATO looks for when reviewing claims. This is general information based on publicly available data from the ABS, the Australian Taxation Office, energy private health, the ACCC, and choice. Tax rules, energy tariffs, rebate programs, and insurance products change regularly. Your situation depends on your income, state, household type, and timing. Always check current information at official sources and consider speaking with a licensed tax agent or financial advisor before making changes.